The first federal program on WROI Giant FM and streaming live on the First Federal Facebook page.
It is indeed a beautiful Friday morning because you know what? We're all here, we're all up, and we're all moving. That makes it a beautiful Friday morning.
Well, I've got coffee and you've got an energy drink.
No energy drink today.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even look.
Yeah, sweet tea.
Oh, sweet tea.
I know, changing it up on you a
I
little
like
bit.
that. Yeah, I might have to switch it up on you next time, Paul.
Well, I figure I got another month or two, so.
Hey, come on.
Evan, you're here with us. This is amazing. So.
Every third week. I'm going to be back every third week.
All right, I'll hold you to that.
Okay. Well, first off, the top of the show this morning, we wanted to congratulate Marshall Fishbeck for his state championship status in the wrestling world here in high school sports. That's our, as I understand from the Sentinel, our first ever wrestling state champion
Yes.
in Rochester.
Yes, very excited for him, and we talked to him yesterday from the bench, and he says it still hasn't sunk in that he's the champ.
How could it? That's really remarkable.
And he and Coach Clint Gardner are going to be guests of ours next month.
Okay.
First federal show.
Well, that'll be
so.
neat to kind of get
Yeah.
the build up and the play by play.
Yeah.
Maybe by then it'll have sunk in.
I bet it will have by then. Yeah, that's really, really something. And a lot of the wrestlers from Rochester did really well this
Yeah,
year.
they did.
Yeah.
Sure did. I mean, I'm looking at Ray Beck got 6th in the 220-pound class. Wyatt Davis and Alex Deming also advanced the state. So
Marshall's record was 45-1 for the season.
That's crazy.
pretty good record.
Yeah.
So, just for an exhibition match, would you get on the mat with them?
No. No.
Tanner, you wouldn't qualify.
Yeah, I wouldn't qualify. He'd bend me like a pretzel. So.
Paul and I could qualify, but I don't know if I would. I don't think I would
No,
raise
no.
my hand for that one.
No, I am. I'm good. I'll sit sidelines and watch it.
Well, we got a little snow and ice last night.
Yeah.
It's not too much though. It's kind of neat actually. Crunchy, like you
It's fun to
said.
walk on.
It is.
Yes.
So drive a little slower is always a good idea.
Absolutely.
It's gonna warm up though in a few days here and kind of melt things off probably.
Yeah.
And then is that it? Did we make it?
Well, I know we're in mid-40s through most of next week, so.
We might have made it. I think we made it. Let's just call it.
Yeah.
Winter's gonna be over after this weekend.
Okay.
Thanks, Paul.
So if there's any more snow, it's Evan's fault.
I can take it. I got big shoulders, not big enough to wrestle, Marshall, but big enough to handle the I was wrong about winning. Okay, our trivia question.
All right.
Tanner and I dug deep for this
So
one.
we did. Very deep.
This is. We thought you might enjoy this one, Paul.
Okay.
What's the most consumed manufactured drink in the world?
Ooh.
Your tea, sports drinks like Gatorade, pop, which is how we say soda around here,
Yeah.
Mhm.
or beer.
Okay.
Okay.
I will think hard
Four
on this.
good choices. I don't know if you've tried all of them, but they're all
I have.
fairly popular.
I
Okay.
have. Well, then let me ask you a question in return.
Tanner, you-
It is the Giant FM Morning Show question of the day, and it's name a brand you're so loyal to you won't ever use anything else.
Okay. I like that question.
That's a good question.
What do you think?
Let's see here.
I liked your answer before we went on here.
That was kind of my layup, easy thought.
Yeah.
Now if I try to think a little further.
I got one, and I shouldn't say I never wear anything else on the golf course, but about 99% of the time I'm going to be wearing something Puma related. I'm a big Puma guy, so I'm pretty loyal to the Puma brand.
Okay, that's a good one, Tanner.
Yeah.
I can deal with that.
I'll have to think a little bit more, Paul.
All right.
I dabble, so it's not my best category. I like to try things.
But that got me thinking. I was trying to think. I'm like, I'm
Well,
not real brand loyal.
A lot of people
in
are
everyday
like
life.
Apple
Yeah, no.
is
Apple,
a very
Chevy, Ford.
yeah,
Yeah.
loyal brand.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Nike.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chrysler.
Yeah.
As long as you don't drive it too fast and wreck it. You know.
I was thinking like, do I have a favorite kind of pen? This is a Sharpie, so someone gave this one to me,
Yeah.
so I don't think that's a good category for
Even
me.
I was trying to think of food and drinks.
Yeah.
Well, how about like a fast food chain?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I'm kind of a Wendy's guy,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I will have something else if
Yeah.
we need to switch it up, but that's probably my first go-to.
That's a good one.
Okay.
Okay,
Good question.
alright, so think about the drinks. Tanner, let's hit the sports this morning.
Yeah, let's do it. We kind of hit the wrestling, of course, in the lead story this morning, but once again, congratulations to all the members of the Rochester wrestling team. They ended up getting, I think it was 13 points towards the state, so that's a
Okay.
great accomplishment within
Yeah.
itself. I mean, the wrestling program year after year produces really good results, but this year was extra special, it seems like.
Absolutely.
They kind of set their sights pretty high, which
Yeah.
is neat to see.
Yeah, and a lot of these wrestlers are returning, so
Yes.
great experience to build on here in the next
Yes.
coming years. I got a lot of boys basketball going on. Sectionals are about to start.
Yeah.
A lot of teams wrapping up their regular season tonight or tomorrow with senior nights. Rochester has their senior night tonight. They're hosting McConaughey, a conference rival there. McConaughey's having a really good season and with a record of 16-5. So hopefully Rochester can play well tonight and send the seniors off in style.
There's going to be a lot of pretty good teams around the area this year.
There are. I mean, you got Aston with a 15-8 record. Argus is 15-5. Tippecanoe Valley 13-8. So, yeah, a lot of good ones right there, and they're all in action. Tippecanoe Valley's at Wawasee tonight, who's 7-14. Argus is at Elkhart Christian Academy, who's 11-8. Caston actually doesn't play tonight. They were victorious last night at North Miami, and Winnemac hosts Rensselaer Central, who's 9-12.
Okay.
So a lot of hoops action going on.
Yeah, I know, it's coming to a close too.
It is.
Sad.
It
It's
is.
gone fast
It
this year.
has.
Yes,
It
it has.
has.
I was going to say that about the winter too, but I thought I'd get some groans from people, but
Well,
This
it
whole
was a
season's
slow
been-
build up to winter, and then it's
It's
just
true.
kind of out of nowhere. In the last, month and a half, we've had winter, and now it's over.
that's a good point. That's
And
probably
what
why.
time's pregame tonight?
Pregame tonight, I think it's 7:15,
All right.
maybe 7:25.
Okay. Well, turn on 7:15 just to be safe.
Turn it on, now.
That
That way, you won't
that.
miss a moment of the
There you
action.
go.
Tanner, I saw a sports article that was trying to pump up for college football. Are you ready for that yet?
You know, it was fun. It's funny you mentioned that 'cause I was actually when I was getting ready for work this morning, I was listening to a college football podcast.
Oh my
So
gosh.
we are in college basketball season winding down, but yeah, I'm also ready for college
You always
football.
have one eye
I
looking
do.
forward.
I do.
That's awesome.
But well, they were ranking SEC and Big Ten coaches,
Oh, that's
which was pretty interesting, and especially the Big Ten. It was a lot more difficult than I thought it would be because they were ranking them on their coaching career, so not just
body
recent.
of work.
Because right away you think, oh, Ryan Day, #1 from Ohio State, but then you get thinking, how good
What's
a
he
coach
done?
is he, or is he just coaching a really good program? You know, you got Kurt Ferentz, who's been in Iowa since
That's true.
'99.
Yeah, the
Pat
grandpa.
Fitzgerald's done a good job at Northwestern. So when you get into everybody's list, it was kind of interesting.
That sounds pretty good.
Like you mentioned with college sports, college basketball's winding down. We're 3 weeks away from Selection Sunday. The regular season ends next weekend, and we'll get the conference tournaments, and then the big March Madness NCAA tournament. Indiana
got his bracket filled.
no, I do not. Indiana got a big win last night over Maryland at home.
Yes.
And now they are 17-10. They travel to Minnesota on Sunday, who is 13-13. That game's at 6 o'clock on ESPN2 on Sunday. Kind of interesting time slot and channel there.
Yeah, I think it might got pushed down a little bit from
Yeah,
normal status.
when I saw 6 o'clock, I figured it was Fox Sports 1 or Big Ten Network, and I saw ESPN2. I was, oh, that's interesting.
Different number start than they usually
Yeah,
do.
exactly. But that'll be another big opportunity for Indiana. I think if they can win 2 of their last 3 games, I think they're probably in the tournament. They might want to win a Big Ten tournament game or 2 just to be safe, but
Yeah,
I
they
think 2 out of 3 will get
They
it.
need to win a game looking good. And
Yeah.
last night wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I thought they had more of a complete game. I think they almost led the whole time, but
Yeah.
they need to look good.
Right.
But some of this is window dressing. Like how
Right.
do you look in here?
Yep. Consistency is a big thing.
Yeah. They just haven't shown up for 2 halves usually.
Purdue was off this week, first off week they've had, in seems like forever. They do travel to Michigan State tomorrow. That game's at noon on ESPN. Michigan State's 18-9, and they're coming in struggling, which kind of scares me. I think they've lost 5 of their last 7 or
The
something like
wounded
that.
dog.
It's like Michigan State is one or two things going to happen. Michigan State's going to come out fired up and mad, and it's going to be a heck of a game, or they're going to roll over. And I don't know. Tom Izzo teams normally don't roll over, but this Michigan State team also doesn't have that guy they can rely on like they have in the past. So
This season, a couple times I've looked at their stats and stuff. I'm like, well, who's their go-to?
they don't have
I
one.
really
It's
don't
really
know.
odd to see.
Yeah.
And Purdue's now tied at top of the Big Ten standings with Wisconsin. Illinois lost at home to Ohio State last night, so that kind of makes those two break off a little bit with a week left.
That's fun.
And those two teams do play Tuesday night next week up in Madison.
Big game.
Yeah, so some big ones coming up. Butler travels to Marquette tomorrow at 1 o'clock on Fox. I mean, not many teams with a losing record get a national game, so good luck to Butler there. And then Notre Dame, a team that not a lot of people are talking about. They're 20-8.
Oh my.
They're in line. I'm right with Duke for an ACC conference championship. A month and a half ago, I didn't have them in the tournament. I don't think a lot of people did. But
Well,
now
I think we even said some negative things
I
about
think
them
we did.
early in the season.
they turned it around, and now
I
they're
have to
definitely
claim that.
They're definitely in those now.
Bigger
So
Tanner statements.
Yeah.
You know what? Watch
they're
this.
welcome.
Yeah,
They're
I like
welcome.
that.
They host Georgia Tech tomorrow, who's 11-16. That's at 5 o'clock on the ACC network.
It's fun to see a team grow from the start of the year to the end.
Mike Bray's a good coach.
Yeah, he
He
is.
does a good job, and I mean, yeah, at the start of the year they weren't winning games. They looked really bad, and 2 months later they're looking pretty good. So
That's
that's
fun.
why we play all the games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that about sports.
Yeah, it is fun. And one more national sports note. MLB, it's not looking good for the MLB to start the season on time. The holdout talks are not going well, and they need to have agreement by Monday. If not, then games will start.
Because I was looking forward to watching the Cleveland. What's the mascot again?
Guardians?
Guardians.
No, okay.
I'm not, that's gonna take me forever to get used
The
to.
Cleveland baseball team.
That's what I was thinking
It's
about
like,
too.
it's like Washington, just when I was getting used to calling them the Washington football team. They
I
changed
kinda like
it.
that after a
Yeah, I
while.
got used to it after
Yeah.
2 years. Now it's,
Yeah.
can't even think what they are.
Commanders.
Commanders, that's right. Yeah, see, another one to get used to.
And one bit of sports news I've got that you don't have. The IRL returns starting this Sunday.
I did not know that.
I didn't
We'll
either.
have every race on
Great.
WROI.
Perfect.
You know, as things warm up, I do start thinking about the Indy 500.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
Just around here, I don't
That's
know.
true.
It's such a big deal. It's so fun to
Oh,
watch, and
absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
that's fun.
That is
I've
fun.
started thinking about that just the other day.
And NASCAR got it started this past week
Yes,
too,
I
so
watched the
racing's
Daytona
off
500.
and
That was
running.
fun.
So.
Here we go.
Got some tidbits this morning, not a ton, but I do have a couple. On this day in 1862, Congress formed the U.S. Bureau of Engraving and Printing to print newly issued U.S. paper currency, the United States notes.
That's interesting.
On this day,
Wait a second, what did they do before that? Come on, Tanner.
I know.
I want to learn
You know,
something.
I get on the website, it only gives me so much, so I
You're
didn't
gonna
dig
have to
deeper.
start digging deeper.
I know.
We need to
Especially on
double
something
click
like
on this
that.
one.
Yeah,
Like what
I'll
they
report back next week.
do.
Just leaving it.
Our new paper currency expert.
On this day in 1964, Muhammad Ali, who then went by Cassius Clay, won his first heavyweight boxing title. He went on to have a pretty good career.
Oh, yeah, not bad.
I've heard of them.
Yeah. Kind of floated like a butterfly and stung like a bee.
Yeah, you know, it happens.
On this day in 1969, the Beatles began recording the Abbey Road album.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, one thing I like are all those memes about people walking across a crosswalk or
Yes.
different things. I love all
Such
those.
an iconic photo.
It really is.
Yeah,
That's one of my
I really
favorites.
don't think the Beatles thought this was going to be this
Oh,
big when
I guarantee
shot
you they
that
didn't.
photo.
No
Guarantee
way.
they didn't.
It's such a neat thing. I love
I
it.
bet that's the top 5 things if you ask somebody about the Beatles, they'll bring that photo.
Oh, yeah.
It might be.
Paul McCartney's head.
Yeah. And we got a few national days today, only 2. Today's National Chocolate Covered Nut Day,
Okay.
National Clam Chowder Day.
But how do these two get such an exclusive day?
Yeah, I don't know. I was looking forward to 4 or 5 different ones,
There's
but
a lot of chocolate covered nut fans, so
Yep.
that might be
You like
that's why.
clam chowder?
No.
No.
Yeah.
I had a good bowl down in Florida last week. So.
No, of course you
Well,
did.
there you go.
He's gonna be talking about Florida for the next 6 months.
I was down there too, Paul.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jeez, this is different parts of the state.
Yeah.
Jeez, slackers. Nobody offered me to go.
That's great. Well, you teed me up for the money news earlier
Yes.
when Randy was in here, because, boy, like a whipsaw, that thing was down red hard yesterday morning, and then when I looked getting ready for the show in the afternoon, I couldn't believe it was in the green
I know.
all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So overall, the Dow's down 2.5% this week, but it could have been a lot worse. That's all I'm gonna say. Probably gonna start red again, because usually it seems like when that happens, people just something's going on or nobody knows what in the world's gonna happen next.
Yeah, I think we had one of those events.
I do too. Yeah. So obviously that Russia invasion of Ukraine is causing a lot of nervousness in terms of what's happening in the future and where you should be investing money, and
Yeah,
any human emotional nervousness affects the stock market quite a bit.
I was right. I've been saying that all week. That situation is what was driving the numbers down. Yes.
I get it. Now let's see if you can get the trivia here.
Probably not.
Okay, banking with First Federal. I think it's like National Savings Month this month, and we're promoting that all month. We got a Roundup checking program. You heard about that?
I did. Todd told me about
Okay.
it last week.
It's pretty neat. We've been looking forward to this for a while, and it's live now, so you can get this set up. But basically, when you use your debit card, it'll take the difference between the next whole dollar and what you spent, and add all those up for the day if you had a few of them, and then make one transfer from that account to a savings account of
Yeah,
that dollar amount that those added up to.
That's really cool.
It just does it automatically, so you'd have one transfer per day, and just help you save by rounding things up a little bit.
Anywhere from
That's why we call it.
Roundup.
That's right.
Anywhere from a penny to 99 cents per transaction.
Yeah, so I like to use my debit card, so I've seen, the dollar or something, if I use it a few times that day or something, gets transferred into my savings account. So I love that. It's great for early savers too.
Yeah.
Maybe
For
some high
trips to
schoolers that
Florida.
have their first debit card. Yeah, trip to Florida for spring break. Maybe we'll bring you next time, Paul. Don't be sore about it. That tea looks good.
It's delicious.
We've been seeing a lot of activity for business lending with Lindy Breeden. So
Okay, that's
encourage everybody to reach out to Lindy, 223-2128, ask for Lindy Breeden. And we've been doing a lot of business loans, commercial lending to help businesses kind of gear up. Hopefully some of these supply chain issues that have been going on throughout the country ease up here in the next few months, but businesses are kind of getting ready. There's a lot of consumer demand out there for products, so it's a kind of a good economic environment in that case that we're seeing. So keep that in mind. Also, it's tax season.
It is.
And we like to remind everybody that even though the calendar year has passed, you can still contribute to like a retirement account for the last tax year before you file your taxes.
Okay.
And sometimes that can help lower your taxable amount that you may have to pay. So we encourage you talking to Mark Blubaugh or Brian Bell of our financial services department, and they can sit down and look at your situation and see if that's something that would be helpful to you. And also your CPA that you use for tax prep can be very helpful to look at those opportunities to save on taxes as well.
Alright.
Okay, we're the only locally owned bank in Fulton County. We don't want to be the biggest bank, just the,
Best.
yeah, we think we are.
I think
We
so.
work really hard at it.
Yes.
Borrowers must meet underwriting guidelines for our loan products. We are FDIC insured on our deposits and an equal housing lender. Our NMLS number is 399927.
And that makes us legal.
Thank you. We've got two very eager guests this morning. So I would like to introduce, can I step on right up here? You can adjust this. This is Reagan Becker.
Hello.
Hello, Reagan. Welcome to the show. And Michaela Slisher, back on the show.
Yes, hello.
So you need to make sure you get that mic close.
Okay.
You're going to be sharing, which is kind of hard, but I've heard you guys are really good.
Reagan will do most of the talking.
Okay. All right. Well, Reagan, you're someone that's kind of kind of famous around here now
I
after
guess.
this past weekend.
Yeah.
Well, we're on this morning and we want to talk to you about the Distinguished Young Women of Fulton County. And we talked to Michaela last fall about that program. It's a scholarship contest. So for high school senior girls, of which you're one of them,
Yes.
and I understand you were the winner of our local Fulton County program.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that program that happened, that competition.
Well, the county program took place in October, the end of the month. We spent like a month and a half preparing for it, working on all our categories, doing mock interviews. We did a couple workshops about interviewing for jobs, and we did a self-defense workshop, which
Ooh.
is an annual thing, and that was really cool. Normally we would have actual physical contact training, but this year we didn't get to do that because of COVID. But I actually did the same self-defense workshop through dance a couple years prior, and I can vouch for that is a very engaging class, and I feel very well prepared to defend myself. So come back for that next year.
That is awesome. I didn't know that was a part of the program.
Between her and Marshall, we're in trouble.
Yeah, I know
Yes.
it. Yeah, I'm feeling very vulnerable. Well, you mentioned different categories of competition. Tell us a little bit about those categories. I think those are also some of the same ones that you just competed in the state competition.
Yes, we have interview, which is self-explanatory. Self-expression is like having one interview question, but on stage, and they're judging you on not only the content of your answer, but how you say it and how you carry yourself.
Presentation.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good one.
Then there's fitness, where we do, at local it was about a 6-minute routine. At state, it was a 10-minute killer
Oh,
routine.
man. They really ramp it up.
Yes. And then, I think they ramp it up more at nationals, so good luck. And then we have Scholastic.
Yep.
Scholastic, which is they take your transcripts and look at your grades and what you've been involved in.
Okay.
And Talent, which is where you get 90 seconds to showcase just
Whatever you
the
want.
random thing that you can do that's cool.
Well, I heard you speaking before the show that you did one talent at the county competition, which you were the winner of, and then you got to go to the state competition, which is why we're having you on again on this morning, was last weekend. But you did a different talent there.
Yes.
I wouldn't have those options. What about you, Tanner?
Well, I stuck with singing. I sang a song from my favorite musical, La La Land, at our local program.
Okay.
But I had to pick something bigger for state because you've got a smaller stage and a smaller audience at local, but then when you get to state, it's such a big auditorium. It's a professional auditorium, basically. It's IUK's auditorium, and you have to fill that space and give them a wow, I guess.
So what did you pick for the state talent?
It is called The Girl in 14G. It was made popular by Kristen Chenoweth, and it's about her real-life experience of moving into a new apartment with noisy neighbors below and above her. So it has, the main part of the girl in 14G is a lot of belting, but then the girl in 13G sings scat, and the girl in 15G sings opera, so you get a bunch of different vocal
Oh my
parts
gosh.
in the one song, and it is so fun.
That sounds really exciting. Now, we understand,
Yeah.
challenging too. I don't know how you did that. We would have needed all three of us to try to do those 3 parts, Paul and Tanner and I.
Maybe the
And-
radio needs to parody that.
And it would have been terrible.
I don't know which part I would have taken. Maybe the scat. You could have done opera.
I'll do the opera, yeah. Tanner just gets to actually sing.
What are you doing with that?
Beautiful voice. Okay, well, I understand that you won some things, both locally, and when I talk about winning, we're talking about scholarship money.
Yes.
So that's really one of the rewards of the program, and the other, I'm sure, is the experience. So tell us about first a little bit of winning some scholarship money locally, and then what happened at state.
Yes. At local, I won self-expression, interview, scholastic, be your best self essay, and overall. Which the be your best self essay is kind of a tangent, but it's something that doesn't factor into your overall score, but it kind of is about what DYW is really about, and it focuses on the 5 pillars of be your best self that Distinguished focuses on, which is be healthy, be ambitious, be involved, be responsible, and be studious.
Hey, great job.
So we have to, there's a very helpful
Acronym?
Yeah. So we have to write an essay about what these things mean in our life and how we portray them in our lives.
Oh, that's great.
So I won that essay at local as well. But then I went to, and I forgot to mention I won overall. I think we've gotten there.
Yeah.
But then I went to state and I ended up being in top 10, which is a scholarship in and of itself, and I won a preliminary award in interviewing, which means that I was either second or third in the category.
We believe the interviewing one too, because you're doing a fantastic job this morning.
Right?
Answering
You
our
didn't do
questions.
anything.
No, this is really, really enjoyable. Okay, so those were several winning categories at the Fulton County and at the state. So tell us, like, if I was a junior high school girl thinking about, hey, do I want to put myself out there? Do I want to try for something bigger? Do I want to search inside and see what I'm made of, like you've done? What kind of dollar amounts did this add up to that goes towards college now?
Right. At county, I won $2,300, and then at state, I won $900 for a total of $3,200.
That's a lot of real money.
Yes.
Now, that's scholarship money. So where are you thinking about applying that? What's your future vision next, Reagan, after you graduate?
Well, my top choice right now is Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology. I am not totally 100% set on that yet because we're just having to see how it works out financially. I'm going for an interview for a potential full ride in March.
Oh.
So.
Well, we wish you the best of luck in that. That's a great school.
Yes. It has been my dream since I was little. I want to major in engineering design and develop assistive technology for people with disabilities. So I'm very excited about that opportunity, but I've got multiple options on my plate right now.
Well, good. Well, we'll be pulling for you on that, and that's setting your sights high and going for it. So, good luck on that. We know you'll nail the interview portion of that scholarship. You've already proven yourself there. All right. Well, now let's talk about the experience a little bit about state. County, we can kind of picture that, and Michaela and I talked about that a little bit last fall. But let's talk about state for a minute, because that's something that I can probably say none of us, three guys in the room, have had much experience at a state competition. So tell us about meeting some of the other competitors from around the state. How many of them were there, and talk to us about kind of getting to know them a little.
I was one of 24 girls. Usually there are 25, but we had one drop out before the competition this year. But it was a really unique experience. You say competitors, but we did not feel like that at all.
That's great.
I was not expecting that when I went. I was expecting I expected most everyone to be nice, but I expected some competition and a little bit of tension, but there was none of that. Everyone there genuinely wanted everyone else to do so well, and that was so refreshing. We bonded really quickly, and it was just so much fun, and being exposed to so many talented, hardworking girls from around the state was really inspiring and has motivated me to do better.
That's awesome. Did you get to be together most of the time, and how long were you there? And you said IUK, so this was in Kokomo.
Yes, this was in Kokomo. We were there for 4 days this week, and it was actually a really different year than normal because normally they are there for 10 days, and you would stay with 3 other girls in a host home.
Depends on how big the house is.
Yeah.
But at least one roommate.
So
Yes.
you'd be in a host home normally.
Right, and so you would have just a few other girls with you. You would have a driver. So it seems to me that there were a lot of things that we missed out on this year, but something that we really got to take advantage of that hasn't been available in previous years was spending all of that time together, because we were at the hotel together, eating breakfast together, we were riding the school bus together around Kokomo, and we didn't get to tour any places in person, but on the last day, Julie Warland, our state coordinator, she decided that she was going to take us on a little tour of Kokomo on the bus, and we drove around, and we saw Old Ben, which is this massive cow. We saw the Kokomo mantis. So we got to see some cool things anyway, and it was just really fun laughing on the bus together, so we really got to build as a group.
That sounds like a neat way to do it. I would have enjoyed being together like that, which is kind of a neat thing you got to take advantage of this year. All right, you talked a little bit about this already just in your last comment, but I was curious about your personal growth through this program from start to finish, when you were just thinking about doing it to where you're at today here on the radio.
Yes. I would say that the biggest skill that I have gained from this is interviewing. When I started school this year, my first ever interview was interviewing for my internship at Advanced Magnetics, and I was really bad at it. I was really bad at interviewing, and for this program, I have interviewed a lot, and I have gotten so much better. I've gotten so much confidence through it, and I've had so much experience that actually at my state interview, which is 10 minutes, I was not asked a question that I had not already been asked. So it really prepares you really well for that. The scholarship money obviously is a great thing, but it is so small in comparison to all the other things that you gain. And the friendships that I've gained through this are incredible. I mean, and the friendships you build at state are, you go in your separate ways, so we might not stay in touch a lot, but I feel like if I were to see any of these girls a year from now anywhere, we would just pick up right where we left off, because we're all like-minded in that we have a lot of different interests and a lot of different passions, but we all want to succeed and are going to do anything that we can do to do that.
Well said. That's neat. I love what you just said there about that camaraderie and the shared experience and how that'll carry forward with some girls that went through that same thing from other areas of the state. Well, we want to wish you congratulations and good luck in the future with your college choices.
Thank
We
you.
think you represent Fulton County extremely well. We've enjoyed having you on the program, and congrats on that top 10 finish at state.
Thank you.
We've been speaking with Reagan Becker, and she's our distinguished young woman of Fulton County, top 10 finisher at the state. And we got a couple questions for Michaela.
Oh, well, I was gonna say, I wanna definitely thank all the sponsors that we have, because this local program wouldn't happen without that, and then, you know, we wouldn't have a representative send on to the state competition. And yeah, she's right, the connections is unbelievable, because years and years and years and years later, you may run into somebody and it's just like, you just right where you left off. It happened to me actually 3 years ago with a girl that I competed with at state in 1984.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah,
that's
and
neat.
she knew who I was and I knew who she was. It was weird.
Well, Michael, you've done a great job spearheading this, getting this going again in Fulton County. I think you mentioned before the show, this is the second year of competition.
This is actually our third.
Okay,
our
third year
back.
of competition.
Seems like two, because last year was completely virtual.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, we're looking forward now. So
Yes.
talk to us about this coming year. What young junior girls should be thinking about. We heard from Reagan. We know a lot of the
Yeah.
positives that this
Well,
program
it's
can
kind
have.
of like who shouldn't be thinking about
There
it.
you go.
I mean, with all the categories that we have, we actually give scholarships out for the winners in each of the 5 categories that we're doing, the
Okay.
fitness, the talent, and everything. And then the Be Your Best Self essay, like she said, is a separate part of that. But we are like a free life coach. Would that be fair to say? Probably.
Yeah.
If you want to elevate yourself in any way, our team is the team to do that with. And not only is it free, but you're also going to meet new girls. We do the Cass County program
Okay.
with the Fulton County program.
That's
So
nice.
we had girls from every school in Cass and Fulton County this year. So when Reagan went to the state program, she already knew the Cass County winner
Oh,
from
that's-
Pioneer High School. And then we did a Winnemac High School program this year, so she knew Kelsey. And then she by chance happened to know the winner at Miami County because she does dance with her at Peru,
Oh, that's outstanding.
who
So,
also made the top 10.
so 4 out of the 25
yeah,
already had some
so
relationships.
so that was great. Yep. But junior girls actually can go online now and apply. It's www.distinguishedyw.org. And if they're in there, then they can find the state page and then
Okay.
find any local page that they want to look at to see who has competed this last year. Because, Reagan's picture's there on the local page and on the state page. So.
It's very exciting. Okay, one last thing. How can our community continue to support the Distinguished Young Women program?
Well, if we keep all of our sponsors, that will be fantastic because as we said, the scholarship money is great, but it's the experience that is the big deal. But you know, you never know what's going to get a teenage girl interested in a scholarship program. The scholarship program, it's the money, but I do think some of them actually want to just stretch themselves. But the money, the parents like the money.
That's the additional push from the
Yeah,
parents.
and actually, a lot of the times, the way we get girls in this program is because their parent or grandparent has told them they need to do it for one reason or another. The adults seem to find the value in our program more than what the teenage girls do. So our biggest obstacle is actually getting the girls to commit to stepping outside of their comfort
That's right.
zone, because
Putting yourself out there.
who wants to be interviewed, right?
Well, and I think I had written down. I think it was from the program, either the state program or the local one. The word transformative. I think that was in the mission statement, and I think that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, it is a transformative experience.
It's very descriptive.
And you can't explain to them what it's going to be like. You try, but like you said, state was more than what you envisioned.
Yeah.
It's like a meeting of the minds. Did they happen to say what the average GPA was?
No.
Yeah, sometimes it's...
I was from talking, there were some crazy smart people there and crazy ambitious, and I mean, the collective mind there was...
Yeah.
Well, we want to thank you both for being on this morning, and congratulations again, Reagan and Michaela. Thank you for all the hard work on this program for Fulton, Cass, and Winnemac.
Well, thank you for helping to support us and get the word out, because that's the main thing, I think.
Yep.
Great job. Okay, moving on to trivia, Paul. What's the most consumed manufactured drink in the world? Tea, sports drinks, pop, or beer?
I'm gonna go sports drink.
Oh.
It's actually tea, which was
Oh.
Tanner and I kind of locked eyes when you said you were drinking tea this morning. I was saying, "Oh shoot, he's done it again."
Man,
The answer was right in front of your face.
it was. See, told you I wouldn't get it.
Okay. Well, let's end our show with these words of wisdom from Anthony D'Angelo, an American writer. Treasure your relationships, not your possessions.
I like that.
There you go. Very fitting.
How fitting.
I love it.
All right, we'll see you guys again
Thank
next
you.
week.